The Sac Actun Cave Tragedy. Beneath the lush jungles of the Yucatan Peninsula, hidden from the world, lies one of the most treacherous and awe-inspiring cave systems on the planet, Sac Actun. A place where light barely reaches and danger lurks around every shadowed corner. But not every soul who ventures into these depths returns. Behind the breathtaking beauty of Sac Actun lies a story of unimaginable terror and tragedy. What happened in the dark corridors of this underwater labyrinth? Why did seasoned explorers face their darkest hours here? And could something more sinister be lurking beneath? Some say the spirits of those lost still haunt the shadows. Tonight, we dive into the mystery of the Sac Actun Cave Tragedy. It was a gorgeous Saturday on November 26, 2016, and Amy had one of the finest days of her life. But unfortunately for Amy, there was a flip side to her lovely moment. For in just a few minutes, she would find herself in a dreadful scenario, lost in complete darkness and battling with all her might just to stay alive. This is the narrative of Amy Maria Arriaga and her harrowing adventure in the Sac Actun cave system. According to Mexican investigators, Amy went disoriented and experienced darkness. Authorities are now establishing new criteria for Gran Cenote. Amy's adventure was limitless, and she particularly enjoyed diving. One day, she contacted her buddy Alessandro, a seasoned diver and trainer. She requested him to train her and accompany her on a diving excursion through Mexico's Sac Actun cave system. After a few days, the stage was ready. They were ready. She had completed all of her training and learning. Amy was meant to be the lead diver, with Alessandro following closely after and recording her exploration of the cave's depths. They decided not to descend below 40 feet and to follow the upstream line in the water all the way to the end. Unbeknownst to them, this would be a day that would leave the entire neighborhood frozen in terror and stunned by how everything turned out. Around 11:26 a.m., the two dove into the ocean and swam away. Amy, ever the courageous and adventurous spirit, led the adventure, with Alessandro close after, carrying a camera to capture every moment with his buddies. It was 25 minutes of joy, swimming, and exploring before Alessandro drew Amy's attention to a natural light streaming from the entrance of another cave. It was a milestone for them, letting them know that they were on the correct track while also allowing them to check in on each other. He examined how deep they were in the water to ensure they hadn't exceeded the agreed-upon 40-foot limit. Then he checked her air supply to make sure everything was still fine. When he was satisfied, he gave them the go-ahead to continue, to which Amy eagerly responded, eager to learn more. Little did she realize she was a few minutes away from making the worst decision of her life. Just a few meters away was a cave known as No Name. It was distinct from the others, and most travelers avoided it. The perils that lurked within were unknown, so as soon as Amy and Alessandro got there, they swam past. However, once they did, Alessandro realized something. For the first time, they were at the most beautiful portion of the cenote, with natural light streaming down from above. It was gorgeous, and he thought Amy would love to be captured in that moment. So he decided to do what any good friend would do, get Amy's attention and take a picture of her. However, in order to capture the photograph, he would have to turn off the powerful lights he was carrying, allowing just natural light to shine through. It was going to be the perfect photo. She'd enjoy it. Then, he waited briefly to switch off his lights. Amy was ignorant of her friend's plans. According to their orders, she was expected to continue leading and swimming until they reached another milestone, but because they had not yet achieved a milestone, she had to keep going. As she moved forward, she came across a somewhat puzzling sight. It was like a crossroads. There was a cave on the left and another entrance on the right that leads to another cave. Which way? Amy was very convinced she was supposed to turn left, so she did. Alessandro must not think she was inexperienced. Otherwise, he may decide to take initiative, which would mean the end of the images and movies he was capturing of her. She couldn't take the risk. She took a sharp left turn and winced, praying and hoping she wouldn't get an indication from Alessandro that she'd made a mistake. But as it turned out, even though she didn't dare look back at him, there was no sign. No flashing lights to draw her attention. Nothing. However, this is where the plot takes a terrible turn, literally. She was immediately disoriented upon entering the unfamiliar cave. They had not discussed this earlier, The cave was utterly strange-looking and quite dark. It was so dark that even with her lights, she could only see a foot in front of her. Okay, she must have taken a wrong way, and Alessandro made no attempt to correct her, only to make her appear dumb. Amy smiled to herself, searching for Alessandro, but he was nowhere in sight. Was he playing a prank? That didn't seem like him. She flashed her lights, scanning the darkness, but still no sign of him. After a full circle and several flashes, there was nothing. Despite her worry, she laughed. He couldn't be far. He was close behind just moments ago. Meanwhile, Alessandro, ready to photograph her, froze. Amy, who had just been feet away, was gone. Panicked but rational, he convinced himself she was ahead, waiting at the exit as planned. He swam around to check but saw nothing. Alessandro anxiously awaited Amy, who hadn't appeared despite swimming to their meeting spot. Trapped in darkness, Amy struggled to breathe. Realizing she was out of air, desperately, she signaled with her lights, hoping Alessandro would find her. Alessandro, a skilled diver, surfaced to search for her, and returned with a new air tank. He retraced their route using ropes and markers, hoping Amy would spot them. But near the cenote, he found Amy's lifeless body, her air tanks empty. He attempted to resuscitate her, but it was too late. Heartbroken, he handed her body over to authorities. Amy Arriaga's tragic death marked yet another life lost to the dangers of the Grand Cenote. Since then, increased caution has been urged to future divers. The Sac Actun cave system is a breathtaking wonder of nature, but it also reminds us of the fragility of life and the powerful forces that lie beneath the surface. As we explore and uncover the mysteries of the deep, let's never forget the courage and sacrifices of those who sought adventure and knowledge in places most of us can only dream of. If this story moved you, make sure to hit that like button, share it with someone who loves to explore the unknown, and subscribe for more stories from the edge of human experience. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.